whenever I do this hairstyle, I'm like that little meme girl who goes, "Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Katherine, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name's Kat. I really like musicals. Hit subscribe to join my musical theater internet cult. First we take over Broadway and then the world." Yep, you heard that right. It's a cult. Today we're going to talk about some musical theater audition advice, specifically what not to do in an audition / the worst audition mistakes you can make. Now you might be thinking to yourself, "Kat, that's so negative. How dare you?" Which is so fair, but sometimes you also gotta talk about the pitfalls of this industry. Something else that I've found really helpful, especially if you're a beginner or if you're starting at a new level, like let's say you're just entering high school or you're just entering college or you're just entering the world of professional musical theater. It can be really helpful to kind of have a guideline on what not to do. Question of the day. Today is kind of like a two-parter. If you're a more experienced member of the Theater Thursday fam, hit us up with some advice. What are some audition mistakes that you've made that you don't want other people to make? Or if you're newer to performing or newer to a new level of performing, or if you just want some help, what do you need help on? Hit us up in the comments down below. Also, if you're new here and you don't know my background, I have been doing musical theater for, oh my god, a decade now? More than a decade now? What? I feel elderly. In addition to being a performer for the better part of half of my life, I've also been behind the audition table for a number of productions. We're talking schools, community theater, regional auditions, equity auditions, and callbacks. Additionally, I'm friends with a lot of casting directors, people who do a lot of the work for Nickelodeon, and I've learned a ton from them. So that's where all of these ideas and thoughts are coming from. A combination of what I've seen and what I've heard, and some of the stuff I've accidentally done. Let's jump into it. So I feel like this one is kind of a no-brainer, but we were all beginners at one point, and I want to mention this in case you haven't heard this piece of advice. Don't be late. In fact, if you can, I would say arrive about 10 to 15 minutes early for any audition in case they're running early, in case you need to fill out paperwork, in case you need to hit the restroom. Being late has a number of negative effects on your audition. It shows that you don't care, it shows that you don't have respect for the production. Directors will start thinking, well, if she couldn't even be on time for the audition, there's no way she's going to be on time for rehearsals or performances. Even if that's not true, even if your car broke down or there was a traffic accident or your monkey caught on fire, why did I say that? That made literally zero sense. They don't care. Additionally, and this is kind of a weirder, sneaky way that being late is a problem, if you are not the absolute best or the absolute worst person that they saw that day, they will only talk about you and remember you as the late one. I've seen that happen a number of times in professional callbacks. People that the team knew, people that the team liked, but all they could talk about is how late they were. Now this one is a really common audition mistake that I see a ton, especially on my channel, especially in the messages and comments that I get from you guys. A really big audition mistake is picking inappropriate audition material. And by that, I don't mean songs that like cuss a lot or like you just do a striptease in the middle of your audition. That's one way to get them to remember you. I mean choosing material that makes zero sense for the audition you're auditioning for. I have a whole video on how to find audition songs, how I personally find audition songs. I have another video on how to tell whether or not audition material is inappropriate, like in the sexy, dirty way inappropriate. So if you need assistance with that, check that out. When it comes to choosing bad audition material, especially with young people, what I see a lot of is people performing material that doesn't make sense for the style they're auditioning for. And by that, I mean they'll come in with one of their favorite songs from like Heathers or Be More Chill or Dear Evan Hansen, which is awesome. Those are all really great age-appropriate shows, but they'll use that material to like audition for Carousel. Not only does it not show off any kind of applicable vocal style for that show, as in you might have a killer mix but they're only looking for legit sopranos, so if you're only showing off your contemporary poppy belty part, they're never going to know that you can also sing legit. Ergo, you don't get the job. And then the casting directors think one of two things. One, they either think you're ill-informed because you made such a bad choice, aka they think you're a big dum-dum, or two, that you don't care enough about the show to do your research and prepare applicable material. So do yourself a favor and use material that makes sense for the show you're auditioning for. Again, I have several videos that'll help you find appropriate audition songs. I'll link them down below. In that same vein, another big audition mistake that I see a lot is picking audition material that is outside of your range. A really great piece of advice I learned early on was to choose a song that you could sing even on your worst day. I'm talking you have a head cold, you have a sore throat, your friend is angry angry at you, you tried to curl your bangs and now they look weird. Choose songs, or at least have backup songs that you know you could sing no matter what. You will have a better audition if you perform material that you know really well and feels very comfortable and you know that you can nail, rather than really showy big material that you perform shakily or you're scared about or you might totally bomb. So go with the reliable stuff. Another piece of advice that I feel is kind of like a no-brainer, but might as well say it. Don't be rude. It's pretty simple. Something else that I see that's kind of sneaky in the being rude aspect are the people who are overly comfortable in the audition. And by that, I mean, let's say you've worked with this company before, let's say it's your school show and your director is casting the show and you're like really good friends with them. Just because you're friends with people in the audition room or behind the table doesn't mean that you should goof off during your audition or callback. That was a really big problem that I saw when people were recurring auditioners for programs, that they became friends with people behind the table, or maybe they had gotten hired for a show in the previous season. They'd come back very comfortable. Same thing in the way that they would audition or prep for that audition. They just wouldn't put in the time or effort because they're like, oh, I'm friends with those people, they know I'm good, they'll hire me. And sometimes we did, and a lot of the times we didn't, because there were people who were just better. Which brings me to my next point. Always prepared. Don't be underprepared. Audition prep is one of the very few things that you have total control over in this industry, so be well prepared. Know your audition material back and forth, and that doesn't just mean lyrics and notes, that also means emotional intention and character arcs. Have knowledge of the show that you're auditioning for, and also have knowledge of your audition material. Bring a headshot and resume if it's required. Even if it's not required, I would still bring one because professionalism is always a great thing. The absolute biggest audition mistake that I see that is just so annoying and will immediately ruin your audition. Like, I have seen people just delete emails, toss headshots and resumes. The number one thing that will ruin your audition is not following the audition breakdown. An audition breakdown is basically the information that the casting panel gives you prior to the audition. In the breakdown, they can do things like describe the characters, they can describe the plot of the show, they can explain what kind of material they want you to prepare for the audition. If the panel says that they want 16 bars of a contemporary Broadway musical and you show up with like a 6-minute Italian art song, what? Not only is it super annoying and a total waste of time, it just doesn't service you. Like, you could give such a better audition if you read the breakdown. The breakdown is there for a reason, so use it to your advantage. So there you guys go. Those are my top musical theater worst audition mistake, bad time, no-nos? I don't know what I'm titling this video, but I sure hope it helped you out. If it did, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me out, and I'd really appreciate your support. If you're new here and you're a musical theater internet geek, hit subscribe. Also check out my second channel, Party at Cats. It's a vlog channel / lifestyle / also theater channel, let's be real here. Oh, and answer the question of the day. Help us all out in the comments down below. I hope you guys are having a great day. I love you so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!